Tonight, it's the LFL's Eastern Conference Championship with the Baltimore Charm taking on the Philadelphia Passion. Next.
Back to Ontario, California for the Eastern Conference Championship. Mitch Mortazo alongside Bobby Huco. And Bobby, we just saw a Chicago team absolutely blast Seattle 31-14. Obviously a big upset in the LFL. If that can happen, can Philadelphia beat Baltimore?
Absolutely. The Philadelphia Passion are the back-to-back Eastern Conference champions. But tonight, quarterback Christy Bell, she got to eliminate the big mistake. In the past couple years, she's fallen short in those big games. Tonight, she has to run her offense, and the majority of it through the rookie phenom, Megan Larson. She's having an incredible year, and she also has to get the ball to the most explosive running back in the LFL, Mary Rose Roach.
And for Baltimore, it is becoming apparent that Angela Rippon is finally getting comfortable in the scheme as a dual quarterback approach in that offense. But the real story here for Baltimore is on the defensive side of the ball. They have got a pair of shutdown corners now. You've never had that in Baltimore with Heather Hudson and Kelly Campbell, two all-fantasy corners. But bigger than them even, if that's possible, is Blanca. Affectionately known Blanca, the Street Fighter character Kim Jack. Defensive Player of the Year nominee and absolutely a beast coming off the edge. That is someone that Philadelphia is going to have to account for blocking tonight to have any success running their offense. Should be a great matchup. We're going to come back with the kickoff after this.
We are back to Ontario, California, site of the 2013 Eastern Conference Championships. It's the Philadelphia Passion versus the Baltimore Charm, and Bobby, for Philadelphia, this is their third straight conference championship game.
It's surprising they got here. They lost their coach, Chandler Brown. They have Lance Smith now, but here they are again for the third year in a row in the Eastern Conference Finals.
And Heather Roy got us underway, and that's Heather Hudson, the outstanding rookie, all-fantasy rookie, and she gets it out to about the Baltimore 13. Now Angela Rippon, we talked to her about her nerves tonight.
Before the first snap tonight, I might be a little nervous, but it's a good nervous. I'm excited to be here. We got a really good game plan put together and a lot of confidence.
Mitch, if Angela Rippon plays good tonight, she can go to the next step toward becoming an elite quarterback. The problem is she's thrown so many interceptions this year by throwing the ball up. She has to focus tonight, be focused in the pocket, and don't turn the ball over.
What a lot of people don't realize is Rippon has not had a lot of reps, still a very young, maturing quarterback, and she's going to take a shot early. Ill-advised pass, as you were saying, Bobby, and that was Mary Rose Roach trying to get under it.
Rippon throwing off her back foot, nothing's there. Roach almost catches the ball, should have had it, but that's what Angela Rippon can't do. She'll never become a great quarterback if she throws the ball up like that.
Allie Dickey, center. Morgan Spencer, tight end. Heather Hudson, tight end. Tamara Harris, wide receiver. Tifa Williams, tight end. TC Mesper, running back. Angela Rippon, your quarterback.
The key is going to be that running back position tonight with Tamara Harris and TC Mesta.
And there is Harris, who gets absolutely killed by Heather Roy, but not before she went for 6.
Harris has really emerged in the last couple games as a solid running back for the Charm. She has to play big tonight because Rippon, I don't think it's going to come down to the quarterback, Mitch. I think it's going to be the running game. Rippon needs to play big, but I think the key is going to be the blocking up front and how well T.C. Mesta and Tamara Harris play.
There's that dual quarterback approach with Morgan Spencer now under center. There's the quick handoff to TC Mesta, trying to get around the edge and just doesn't have the speed. There's another look at Heather Roy, who's having an amazing year. The second-year veteran defensive end.
Heather Roy, solid season, not spectacular, but as you can see by those stats, it's a solid contributor.
That TC Mesta run now sets up a 4th and 3. And as you can see, still a ton of confetti on the field from that earlier Chicago win in the Western Conference Championship. There's Allie Dickey. That small center goes for about 8 yards. That'll give us a chance to also now meet the Philadelphia defense.
Tiffany Sullivan, cornerback.
Megan Lawrence, middle linebacker. Megan Larson, free safety.
Heather Roy, linebacker.
Crystal Gibson, cornerback.
Heather Perez, strong safety.
The Passion has 2 outstanding cornerbacks, Megan Larson and Crystal Gibson. They come off the edge hard. Watch for them to be in Baltimore's backfield all night.
Coach Gary Clark stays with that run game. This time it's Tamar Harris. And Harris goes for 4 yards down to the Philadelphia 18.
Gary Clark, he likes to distribute the ball to a number of people running the ball. Allie Dickey last time, Tamara Harris. He switches positions with a lot of players, and everybody gets a chance to run the ball.
It's a very diverse approach, no doubt about that. With 2 quarterbacks, multiple running backs, and several people that can play the receiver position. 2nd and 6 now. There's our first whistle of the night. Looks to be a false start. That'll cost Baltimore 5 yards back to the Philly 23.
Mitch, it seems all year long when we watch Baltimore, they hurt themselves like that. It seems like they get a drive going, they have a turnover, they stop themselves with silly penalties every game.
That is the mark of a young team on the big stage. Obviously, Baltimore premiering back in 2010 as a franchise, but has yet to have any success until this season. 2nd and 11 now from the Philadelphia 23. Another inside handoff. This one to TC Mesta, who gets to the outside now, all the way over to her bench. Mesta goes for about 8 yards. Mary Rose Roach on the stop.
Great blocking on the outside by Allie Dickey. TC Mesta, she's back in form. She was out with a bad ankle sprain early in the year, and she couldn't run hard at all. Tonight, she's 100%.
She's talked about being out of shape for most of the season and committed herself in the playoffs here to get back into shape. We'll see how that translates tonight. 3rd and 3. A crucial down for Baltimore here. There it comes, a double handoff reverse. This one to Morgan Spencer, and look at Angela Rippon leading the way. Great cut block by Rippon on the outside.
Great call by Gary Clark, but I think they're bringing it back, Mitch.
That's a holding penalty on Baltimore. See if we get a look at it there at the top of the screen. Oh yeah, Tamar Harris just tackles the outside DN.
That was absolutely a tackle, not a hold. If that didn't get called, we have to fire the referees. Wow, I can't believe that play was so outstanding looking, but there's a reason why she was so wide open around the corner.
Penalty or no penalty, whenever you see a quarterback throw a block like that, you got to take notice. Great play by Rippon. 3rd and 8 now from the Philly 20. They're going to stay to the ground. No, Spencer back in the pocket all day. Now just checks down to TC Mesta. And Mesta gets about 6 on that play.
Not a bad play at all by Morgan Spencer. Nobody was open deep. The secondary, Philly secondary, the safeties were back covering everything deep. She checks down and hits Mesta for a positive gain. Good play by Spencer.
And here's a big 4th and 2, Bobby. An opportunity for a young quarterback like Angela Rippon on the biggest stage that she's been on in her young LFL career. I realize it's early, but what a key opportunity here for Baltimore's offense.
I'm impressed so far. They're taking it right down the field.
There's another handoff to Tamar Harris. Harris gets to the outside, now cutting inside. That'll get us the 5 yards that Baltimore needs, although there is a penalty flag.
I think Philly might have been offsides.
That's head referee Steve Strimling confirming the call against Philadelphia, so the first and goal will stand for Baltimore.
Coach Gary Clark, you got to be impressed with his opening drive here. They had that one penalty, but other than that, they're marching right down the field on the defending Eastern Conference champions.
And doing it on the ground with T.C. Mester and Tamar Harris. Now Rippon lines up at tight end. Morgan Spencer with another handoff. This one to T.C. Mesta. Mesta working on the left side and able to get it down to the Philadelphia 5.
T.C. Mesta, she understands her role on this team. She's not going to break it for 30 or 40, but she continually will get you 4 to 6 yards. Just a power type back that never takes a loss.
And I think Coach Gary Clark understands that the pass game is going to take some time to develop with Morgan Spencer and Angela Rippon. But he's got a couple workhorses in Tamar Harris and T.C. Mesta, and why not take advantage of that?
Exactly. That's been his theme all year. Just run the ball, and then break a long pass in here and there.
Second and goal now. Delay handoff. T.C. Mesta right up the middle. Right into that heart of that defense, down to about the 1 yard line.
Julie Olsen, the center, opening up a big hole for Mesta right there. Right now, T.C. Mesta and that charm offense, they're dictating the tempo to Philadelphia.
Absolutely, taking it right to that heart of the defense, as we said earlier. Megan Lawrence having a great first year at middle linebacker, but right now being pushed back into the end zone. Rippon under center. There's another handoff to Mesta. Mesta now still cutting. And with her second effort, she is into the ball game, and that is our first score of the Eastern Conference Championship.
Watch this. 2 linebackers stop her right at the 1. The second effort, she crosses through the goal line. Great effort, great drive for Baltimore.
And that is Allie Dickey. It appears she's leaving the game. That is their starting center. Let's take a look at the injury here.
She went low on the block. Looked like she caught her right shoulder right into the knee, and that looks, I hope it's not a separation. That did not look good.
Once again, that is Baltimore's starting center. We'll see how that impacts this game if Dickey cannot return. There's a handoff to Mesta, and this time Philadelphia keying on her, although she's not done. Gets about to the 1 before getting clothesline tackled by Megan Larson.
What a strong play by Larson, coming hard off the edge from the corner position.
Baltimore strikes first with this T.C. Mesta touchdown. Back to action here in Ontario, California for the Eastern Conference Championship. And Philadelphia will get their first try here on offense. And that's Mary Rose Roach going out for 8.
Mary Rose Roach, the former Offensive Player of the Year in the LFL, is such a dominating force when she's healthy. And she looks like she's 100% coming off that neck injury early in the year.
She hurt her neck in the last Eastern Conference Championship as Liz Gorman just blasted her at the goal line. Great to see her back to the field. 1 game away from the Legends Cup. There's a handoff to Megan Larson. Larson still on her feet. Larson goes for about 13 yards down to the Philadelphia 23. Check that to Baltimore 14.
Great block up front by Claudia Colazzo. Opened that hole for Larson. Larson having a solid year. She's multifaceted. She's got right now 7 receptions, 115 yards for a 12.9 average and 2 touchdowns. I love the way she plays football, Mitch.
She's one of those complete athletes on both sides of the ball, and now lining up as the quarterback. Oh, now a high snap over Larson's head, all the way out to midfield, and Kim Jack Blanca all over that.
Kim Jack, the assassin, 19 tackles this year, 16 solos, and 8 tackles for a loss. She's having a come-out year, Mitch.
She's already been named as the starting defensive end in the 2013 All-Fantasy game. That is the LFL's version of the All-Star game or the Pro Bowl. An amazing season for Kim Jack at D-end. Now Philadelphia's backed up to midfield. Another high snap. This one controlled by Bell. Throwing off her back feet. And Opal Jones almost got under that.
Claudia Colazzo with another bad snap, her second of the night. The ball went sailing over Christy Bell's head, and then she slipped on the confetti on the field from the previous game and threw a bad pass right there, Mitch.
10. Personal foul. Legal hands to the face. Offense number 4. That's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That is a huge 10-yard penalty on Lauren Labella, the longtime veteran. Now let's meet the rest of that Philly starting offense.
Heather Roy, tight end.
Claudia Collazo, center.
Lindsay Nadali, wide receiver.
Mary Rose Roach, running back.
Christy Bell, quarterback.
I really think the key tonight is going to be Christy Bell. This is usually when she shines in championship conference finals. She has to play big tonight, and I think she will.
There's Bell in the shotgun. Heavy pressure by Kim Jack. Dumps it off that time. Just got it off to Lauren Labella, the tight end. And Heather Hudson, who's having an all-fantasy season at corner alongside Kelly Campbell on the other side, comes up on that play.
Heather Hudson, she has 15 tackles, 14 solo, and 2 assists. Outstanding season so far.
Now Philadelphia looking at a 3rd and 30.
Not the way Philadelphia wanted to start this game. The defending conference champions going the wrong way in their first drive against Baltimore.
And this puts a lot of pressure on Christy Bell. Shotgun snap to Bell in the pocket. A lot of time. Now looking to the sideline, finds Mary Rose Roach. And Roach darting her way for about 18 yards. All the way down to the Baltimore 6.
Not a bad play by Christy Bell, trying to get some of the yardage back. She could have tried to throw it up in the air, but anytime you get the ball in Roach's hands, she has a shot to score. She breaks one tackle into her spin moves. It took 4 girls to bring her down right there. Mary Rose Roach, another outstanding season, 41 rushes, 238 yards, 2 TDs already.
Number 6 can break it at any point. That'll set up somewhat of a manageable 4th and 12. Ball at the Baltimore 16. Bell in the shotgun once again, in the pocket now, scrambling to the right, trying to create some space. Now going to try to take it herself, and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. And they'll turn it over on downs to Angela Rippon and the Baltimore Charm.
That penalty by Lauren Labella really put the passion in prison. There's no way to get a 3rd and 30 call. Christy Bell tried to salvage the drive, but it didn't happen.
So you're saying there's no 3rd and 30 call in the playbook, huh?
You have none. You don't practice for that.
1st and 10. That's a delayed handoff to TC Mesta. Mesta getting on the outside. Wow, TC Mesta delivering the blow to Megan Larson at the end of that one.
TC Mesta looks like a different back coming off that ankle injury. You see no limp, no strides that aren't 100% on TC Mesta tonight, delivering the blow.
That'll give Baltimore a 1st and 10 at the Philadelphia 17. There's Megan Lawrence having a good year at middle linebacker for Philadelphia. Rippon under center, observing the defense now. Delayed handoff to Tamar Harris. Harris trying the outside. A host of Philadelphia defenders led by Heather Perez. We do have a penalty here.
Illegal formation, defense number 17. Illegally in the defensive box. 9-yard penalty, replay, first down.
That's the 2nd time tonight they've been called with an illegal defense. Right now, Baltimore's not pulling any punches tonight, Mitch. They're playing smash mouth, in-your-face football.
And that illegal defense is basically 5 yards from the line of scrimmage back. And on the outside shoulders of the 2 DNs, you can only have 3 players in that box, as you can see there, Philadelphia. Now a 1st and 5. That handoff is to Morgan Spencer. And Spencer only can get out to about 2 yards. And there is Heather Perez, who is in active duty with the military, scheduled to return to Iraq. I know she was missed from this defensive lineup, one of the pure hitters in the game.
Perez can flat out clean your clock from the safety position. I would not want to go head-to-head against her.
2nd and 3 now. There's a Double reverse handoff to Morgan Spencer. Spencer trying to get to the outside, bracing herself for impact. And that's how you get hurt, Morgan Spencer. You got to run through the defender there.
She had some space right there. She saw Crystal Gibson coming right at her, and you're right, she kind of hunched over and said, oh no.
I guess she saw that was enough for the first down, and that was good enough for her.
She ran like a quarterback on that one.
That'll set up a 1st and goal from the Philadelphia 6 now. Spencer under center. And that is a deep handoff to TC Mesta, who gets away from the first defender, but then just cannot get anywhere. All the way back to the Philadelphia 10. A little under 2 minutes remain when we return. Baltimore driving. We are back to Citizens Business Bank Arena in Ontario, California for the Eastern Conference Championship. The Philadelphia Passion versus the Baltimore Charm. And here is Baltimore's 2nd and goal at the Philadelphia 10. Another handoff, this one to Mesta. Mesta gets to the outside, and she gets all the way down to the Philadelphia 1 before being pushed out by Mary Rose Roach.
Mitch, I'm kind of shocked what's going on right now. This Philadelphia defense did not show up. Baltimore manhandling them. Crystal Gibson and Megan Lawrence are not coming off the corners like they usually do. They're just running the ball right down their throat.
And I don't think they anticipated the speed of TC Mesta. You look at her physical prowess and you assume she's just a north-south power back, but she can get to the outside much like Tamar Harris and cause some damage.
Absolutely. She's got a great motor.
Now a 3rd and goal at the Philadelphia 1. And it looks like maybe Philadelphia's Megan Lawrence jumped.
That's not bad on the 1 yard line, Mitch, and I'll explain why once they walk this off. When you're at the 1 yard line or less than 1, you got to try to anticipate the snap count because it's only 1 yard. They're going to probably get it. So if you anticipate, you can jump through the line and make a play. Not a bad call because they only get a half yard on that.
That's a great point. Now it's 3rd and goal with TC Mesta. Nothing doing. That is Crystal Gibson, one of the most physical corners in our game. And we talked to her about the importance of this game.
As a veteran, I understand that these opportunities do not come easy. Today, we got to seize the opportunity, win this game so we get another shot at the cup.
That's the Crystal Gibson we used to see all season long. Her stats, 26 tackle, 22 solo, incredible, and 2 for losses. That's the way we know her to play. She hasn't played that way so far tonight, though, Mitch.
That is not a middle linebacker. That is a cornerback with those kinds of staggering stats. 4th and goal. There's another reverse. This one goes to Morgan Spencer, and Spencer gets in. That is another touchdown by Baltimore.
Spencer's become a moneymaker for Baltimore. Somehow she gets in the end zone. That's the way to run the football, not like she did the previous time she carried it.
She has got the size, and she is a physical quarterback.
She's become a moneymaker for Baltimore this year.
Now 1-point attempt from the 1 yard line. Ripping back under center. There's another handoff to Tamar Harris. Tamar Harris on the right side gets in, and that'll put up Baltimore 13-0 early in this one.
Could there be a changing of the guard in the Eastern Conference? Where's the Philadelphia Passion? Baltimore's all over them so far.
A very impressive 7-play, 36-yard drive, chewing off about 3 minutes of clock. And now Philadelphia finds themselves in a hole. This is very familiar territory for this team. They were doing just this in the Cleveland game earlier in the regular season and came back. Luckily for them, they are a second-half team. Now a 1st and 10 from the 15. Pitch out goes to Roach. Roach goes for about 6.
They need more penetration inside, Baltimore does. They're 2 corners, all fantasy corners. They come off the edge as well as anybody in the league. Kelly Campbell, Heather Hudson, they came in, but there was no help inside.
Now a 2nd and 4, heavy rush coming from the outside, and Bell does get it off, this time to Heather Roy. And Roy pumping those legs like a bull, gets about 8 yards. That'll be enough for a Philadelphia 1st down. And timeout, Philadelphia. Baltimore up early in this one with Morgan Spencer. Back to action, and there's a look at the Chicago Bliss, your Western Conference champions. Now they simply await either Philadelphia or Baltimore in the first ever Legends Cup in Vegas next week. And there's a look at Bell, rifle arm to Megan Larson. And that went for about 8 yards, Bobby.
Christy Bell looked sharp on that play. Stood in the pocket, held her ground, found Larson with a hook pattern right in the middle of coverage, but she got the ball in there. Good pass by Bell.
The clock continues to run now. Not sure why you would hand off with under 10 seconds left to Roach. And I believe Philadelphia just used a timeout, so they're not going to have any other options here.
Wow. Not good play calling at all by Coach Lance Smith.
And as a quarterback, you've got to have better awareness than that. That is a major lost opportunity for Philadelphia. Despite this connection with Larson, Philadelphia blows a golden opportunity.
Back to Ontario, California at halftime here, the Eastern Conference Championship. Mitch Mortaz alongside Bobby Huco. And Bobby, Baltimore's up 13-0 in this one. What is going on with Philadelphia's offense?
Well, that's easy. They're not getting the ball to Mary Rose Roach. She only has 4 touches in the first half, and that Baltimore defense is collapsing all around her. The Philadelphia offense, on the other hand, they have to extend drives. They only had 10 plays in the first half versus 18 for Baltimore.
And Baltimore, speaking of them offensively, 13 points, certainly respectable, but what has really gotten them to those 13 points?
Well, a lot of people thought the game was going to be about Rippon and Spencer. It's not. It's about the Baltimore running game. TC Mesta has an impressive 46 yards in the first half, and the Baltimore offense has converted 100% of their plays on 4th down.
Baltimore has done it just like the Ravens have, with a lot of defense and a run game, mainly TC Mesta. She opened up the scoring with this 4-yard run for a score. Then right before the half, Morgan Spencer goes in for a score. That is where we are at 13-0 at the halftime. We'll be back for the second half kickoff as both teams fight for their playoff lives.
Third quarter action now from Ontario, California. Before we get to the kickoff, let's take a look at the 2 running backs tonight.
Surprising numbers at halftime. TC Mesta out rushing Mary Rose Roach. She has 46 yards. The Roach only has 15 yards. TC Mesta doing it.
Certainly a surprising development, but I guess the key is Roach has only touched it 3 times. That's not going to get it done for perhaps the most explosive player in the history of the LFL.
Now, why would you only give it to her 3 times in the first half of a conference championship?
Morgan Spencer gets us underway. Nice high kick. And that'll sail out of bounds. Philadelphia will take over at the 15.
Great kick by Spencer. That almost went out of the arena.
You've got to expect Coach Lance Smith is going to give Mary Rose more opportunities here in the second half, as this game is really on the line at this point for Philadelphia.
You have to give it to her. She's a star.
And there is the handoff to Mary Rose. Oh, and that is exactly why you give her those touches. That was a broken ankle, and she goes for 11 yards moving the sticks.
Great blocking up front by Philadelphia. They seal the wall. They put a wall in the whole left half of the field. Mary Rose Roach going for 11 strong yards.
She just has that ability to stop on a dime and then just explode. As we've talked about all season long, if there's a runner that she reminds you of as a longtime NFL fan, it is Barry Sanders.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 now from the Baltimore 24, and there's Mary Rose Roach again getting to the outside. Kind of a shoelace tackle by Heather Hudson.
What this should do, Mitch, it should open up for Christy Bell. With Roach running this strong up the middle and outside, hopefully Christy Bell can get the ball moving vertically with that passing game.
That is exactly right. That's going to keep from a Kim Jack, Opal Jones and company really teeing off on Christy Bell. Now a 2nd and 6 from the Baltimore 20. There's a left side pitch to Roach. Roach gets about 5 yards, and that'll set up a 3rd and 1.
This is classic Philadelphia football. This is how they got the 2 consecutive championship games here in the LFL. Give the ball to Mary Rose Roach. If you can't stop her, keep giving her the ball, and then that will open it up downfield for Bell. Last year in the championship, Bell went 6 for 6 for 4 touchdowns. That has to happen here in the second half.
Now a key 3rd and 1. And what do? They keep it on the ground with Roach. And Roach chews up about 7 yards.
She's on a mission right now. This is Mary Rose Roach football, and this is her football game. Taking it to Baltimore right now.
If you're a Philadelphia football fan, don't get used to this. With Chip Kelly from Oregon coming over to the Eagles, they're going to go run and gun, not the Philadelphia Passion. They're going to grind it out this half with Mary Rose Roach.
Mary Rose Roach could probably make the Philadelphia Eagles.
Shady McCoy might be upset at that. There's a penalty, 1st and goal penalty.
Illegal snap, offense number 4, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That is Lauren Labella again with 2 big penalties. You don't expect that from a veteran.
Well, she usually doesn't play center. The ball was moved. They got her at center right now.
Now Bell back in the pocket, going to look to Larson. Finds Larson on the right side. And Larson just got exploded by Tashana Gaines. I don't think Larson knew that she had not crossed over just yet.
Wow, I think she got in, but you're right, she got clocked. What a read by Christy Bell. They came with a corner blitz. She threw it real quick to Larson before the safety got over to the cover. Great play by Christy Bell. Great catch by Larson, but you got to protect yourself.
There's Megan Larson, who's been inconsistent this year. Has made some incredible plays, but also had a case of the drops on several occasions.
Christy Bell shows up in Eastern Conference Finals. That was a great play, a great read. Let's see if she can do it the whole second half.
Now the extra point attempt from the 1. Easy pitch out goes to Roach, and Roach practically walks in. That'll cut into that lead, 13-7 now.
Super drive by the Passion, getting them back in the ball game.
The legendary number 6 strikes again. We are back to Ontario. Second quarter action, a little under 5 minutes remain. And Baltimore's Morgan Spencer walks up to the line. There's Spencer with a deep handoff again to TC Mesta, cutting to the right side, still on her feet. She goes for about 10 yards. Now that's an interesting handoff, Bobby. Have you ever seen a team with almost a 10-step drop before they hand the ball off?
I have not. It's working tonight. It gives, what it does do, it gives the back a long time to read the hole, go for daylight, run for wherever daylight is. But I've never seen it that deep. But it's working tonight with TC Mesta.
It is quite a drop for these Baltimore quarterbacks to get to the running back. Now a 1st and 10 from midfield. There's a shorter handoff, this time to Tamar Harris. And there is that explosion of Harris. A great 1-2 punch here in Baltimore with Mesta and Harris.
Heather Hudson doing it on the offensive side of the ball. Watch this block she puts on star right. Great scheme. You got the whole side sealed out. Right there, you got star right. Heather Hudson coming underneath her. There's no way that she should be able to block her. Then you got the inside center and tight end blocking off the wall inside. All kinds of room for the running back. Heather Hudson just destroying star right on that block.
The size and weight difference, quite impressive. Heather Hudson, Baltimore known for a very small front line. There's another handoff to Mesta. Mesta trying the right side. And she gets out for about 5 yards down to the Philadelphia 12.
Gary Clark not even trying to throw the football at all tonight, Mitch. He's thrown the passing game away. He said, listen, I can beat these guys on the ground. I'm going to continue to do it.
That has been the question. Is it a lack of confidence with Spencer and Rippon? Or is it that he has more confidence in Tamar Harris and TC Mesta?
I think they both can throw, Spencer and Rippon. He just right now doesn't need it. He's destroying them on the running game.
Now a 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 12. There's a double reverse handoff again, and Spencer's going to look to throw off it. Looking to the corner of the end zone. Had a wide open Allie Dickey and just missed her.
They tried this play earlier in the season, throwing the ball to Angela Rippon. This time they come back. Spencer has Allie Dickey wide open in the end zone. She just missed her.
And you could see Dickey kind of favoring that right arm and right shoulder. You got to wonder if that's separated. We will check with our medical director, Jeremy Fisher. But that should impact her the rest. And I know she's a key part of that Baltimore passing offense.
It didn't look like it was that bad. She dove almost into the wall after that ball.
Now a 2nd and 10 from the Philadelphia 12. There's a pitch to Spencer, a double pitch back. That was to T.C. Mesta, who ended up with the ball. And Mesta just ran out of real estate with only a yard.
Megan Larson, the corner for Philadelphia, she plays with reckless abandon on both sides of the ball. Right there, a great stop all the way across the field.
Now a 3rd and 9 with 1:40 or so left in the 3rd quarter. This might be a good opportunity to take a shot at the end zone.
I was going to say, what do you do here, Mitch? 9 yards, you got the quarterbacks that can throw. What do you do?
Rippon under center. She's going to hand it off. She's going to get it to T.C. Mesta, who's still on her feet, fighting her way to about the 6-yard line. Check that. She got down to about the Philadelphia 5. That'll set up a 4th and 3.
T.C. Mesta, when she is completely healthy, she has such a great feel for the game. She read her block perfectly, almost got it to the end zone. Now we have a key 4th and 3, Mitch.
This could be an early deciding factor. The Philadelphia defense needs to come up with a stop. As Morgan Spencer looks over that Philly defense. And there's another handoff to Mesta trying to get to the left side. And Heather Perez coming up from the strong safety position. That is not going to be enough, and Philadelphia is going to take over.
Mitch, I don't think that play ever had a chance. The running back was 10 yards back at the 14-yard line. By the time she got the ball, the whole defensive front with Philadelphia was back in the backfield. I don't know that. Why would they have the running back 10 yards behind the ball?
That is a little baffling on short yardage like that. That is quite a run up just to get to the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
Now a 1st and 10 for Philadelphia. They got the all-important hold defensively. And that's Mary Rose Roach that goes for about 11. And that could very well take us to the end of the 3rd quarter here in Ontario.
I love that play by Lance Smith. It's a counter misdirection. They pull the guard, the tight end around, lead blocking for Roach. It hasn't been stopped all night. I would continue to do that.
Philadelphia is going to try to get another playoff. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. It's now all going to come down to a final 8 minutes of play. And here is T.C. Mesta being stopped on that 4th down. Stadium rocking here in Ontario. Both of these teams realize that their destiny and their season comes down to a final 8 minutes of play here.
This is tough Eastern Conference in-your-face football. Not a whole lot of passing. Just see face-to-face who is the tougher team. That's how they're playing football tonight.
This could very well come down to Roach and Mesta in the 4th quarter. And there is Roach. And she's still on her feet, and that deceptive speed gets her out of almost 13 yards to the Baltimore 5.
Mitch, pound for pound, she might be the best running back the LFL has ever seen from its inception. I know Harris has burst onto the scene recently, but for the past 4 years, Roach has been there every year.
She has been the heartbeat of this franchise. It has just been tough. They just cannot been able to finish the season. They'll have another opportunity if they can get past Baltimore. There's another pitch out to Roach. Roach getting to the outside. And that speed bursts her for another 13 yards. The ball goes down to the Baltimore 5.
Right now, the Roach is on fire. Those safeties for Baltimore have to come up. She's getting over 10 yards every time she touches the football right now, Mitch.
You got to wonder, if you're Baltimore, how much film you've seen on Roach, and why are you not keying on her at this point?
You have to. She's done it for 4 seasons. I mean, this isn't something new. They're going to win or lose with Mary Rose Roach.
Now a 1st and goal from the Baltimore 5. Larson out in the shotgun, another high snap. Manages to control it, looking over the middle, doesn't have anybody, now going to just try to convert. And that is Kim Jack. You do not try to get past Kim Jack.
This girl is a beast, just a monster. She's an assassin. She doesn't tackle people. She destroys running backs. Incredible hit right there by Kim Jack. She told me her two favorite things were playing football and playing in the freeway.
Just a tough-nosed Baltimore defender. And boy, she made a name for herself this year. Second and goal from the Baltimore 7. Now another handoff to Roach up the middle this time. Only manages about 3 yards on that one.
Those missed snaps are killing Philadelphia. I don't know how that happens. If you're going to do it in a shotgun snap, keep it low. If you're going to do anything, skip it out there, but don't throw it over the quarterback's head. It's killing that offense.
You cannot afford those kinds of errors in the Eastern Conference Championship game. And this is a veteran team. They should know better. Now a third and goal from the 4. Bell back to pass, dropping back, corner of the end zone. What an acrobatic catch by Megan Larson. Wow.
Clutch play by Christy Bell with pressure. Jack's all over. Poise, throws it up in the air. Larson, incredible catch. Tonight she's already got 5 receptions, 48 yards, 2 touchdowns. Playing great. Philadelphia back in the game, Mitch.
That is an athlete that can make almost any quarterback look good when you just toss it up and she leaps up to snag it out of the air. Now Philadelphia will try to take the lead on this extra point. Another pitch out to their money bank. Mary Rose Roach. And Heather Hudson comes over from the corner position. That'll keep us tied at 13. But what a drive by Philadelphia. 6 plays, 45 yards, and this amazing catch. Now back to action in Ontario, the Eastern Conference Championship. And we are tied up at 13-13. There's a handoff to Mesta for Baltimore. And Mesta running up high and still driving those feet. She gets out about 11 yards on that.
Mitch, going back to that last extra point, I can't tell you how big that hit was by Heather Hudson. She shed the block of Richardson, made the tackle to keep the game tied with less than 5 minutes left.
This is the opportunity for a Baltimore franchise that nobody expected. And now they're on the doorstep of possibly going up. And what a matchup that would be, Chicago versus Baltimore, but obviously a lot of football left.
This drive right here can take Ripon to the next level if she can get points on the board.
First and 10 handoff to Tamar Harris. Harris on the left side. And Perez up from that strong safety position.
This game is simply going to come down to who wants it more. You got 2 tough cities, tough football players, tough coaches, 4th quarter tie ball game. I love it, Mitch.
This is what you envision a conference championship game to look like. Coming down to the wire. The team with the ball on the last possession winning. Now it's Morgan Spencer's turn under center. 2nd and 5 from the Philadelphia 19. They're going to keep it on the ground to Mesta, and Mesta just unloading on that secondary of Philadelphia.
Great blocking up front. Gary Clark doing what he has done all year long, not scared to switch quarterbacks right in the middle of a key drive in the 4th quarter of the Eastern Conference Championship game.
That'll move the sticks for Baltimore. 1st and 10 now from the Philadelphia 11.
If I was Philadelphia, Lance Smith, I'd bring everybody up on the line. They're not even trying to throw the ball.
Now a 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 11. Ripon with the handoff to Tamar Harris. Harris trying to get to the outside, now to the inside. And that is Crystal Gibson, the much talked about Gibson coming up from the corner position.
That is one heck of a football player. Crystal Gibson coming off the edge right there to make a huge stop. She's been doing that all season.
Your prototypical type corner can cover and
I don't think either coach is going to change up right now.
nearing the 2-minute mark. with Morgan Spencer under center. Now an inside handoff to TC Mesta. Nothing there. As we said, both defenses are teeing off against the run now.
Mitch, I wouldn't have called this. I would have thought Philadelphia might have run away with this, but Baltimore playing them head-to-head as good as I've ever seen them play.
We are down to a final 2 minutes in the Eastern Conference Championship, and it is becoming physical. A final 2 minutes remain in Ontario, California. The winner of this one advances to play Chicago, who beat Seattle earlier. And that'll be our Legends Cup next week in Las Vegas. But we have another 2 minutes of great football left here.
This crowd is going nuts right now. This is classic football.
3rd and 9 now from the 10. There's the handoff to Mesta. Another one of those deep handoffs, Bobby.
I'm not sure about that lineup at all. There's a penalty down there, Mitch. I think somebody might have jumped.
Oh, we do have a penalty on the field. Wow. There's an offside call that time against Philadelphia.
That's a killer penalty for Philadelphia. What was that all about?
Baltimore lost 2 yards but gained 5 on the penalty. And there's TC Mesta blowing up inside the middle. She manages to get 2 before Megan Lawrence and Crystal Gibson come up for the stop.
Wow. Mitch, that penalty might, who knows, it might have cost Philly the championship. They had them stopped 3rd and 9. Now they're going in.
It definitely created a more manageable situation for Baltimore's offense. And here comes the play of the game thus far. 4th and 1 from the Philadelphia 2.
This could put Baltimore in the Legends Cup. Wow.
If I'm Philadelphia, I am teeing on TC Mesta here. And here comes the hand. Nope, that is a bootleg, naked bootleg to Angela Rippon. Just when you thought that TC Mesta or Tamar Harris would get the ball. No, it's number 11 on the naked bootleg.
What a sensational call by Gary Clark. The naked quarterback bootleg. Angela Rippon walks in, nobody around her. Great call. Baltimore might be going to the Legends Cup.
Now the all-important extra point. What a call by Gary Clark. Nobody anticipated that. And there's a look at the first-year head coach for the Baltimore Charm. Now Baltimore lining up for the 2-point attempt from the 3-yard line. And there's Mesta taking on Crystal Gibson in the open field. And Gibson proving why she's such a strong corner. However, Baltimore takes the lead here on this Rippon bootleg.
NFL football presented by Party Deck, the NFL's official social media destination, connecting fans to the game.
Back to action here in Ontario for the Eastern Conference Championship. And Bobby, if this was a boxing match, we'd be in the 12th round. There's Christy Bell in the pocket, back in the shotgun, looking for someone in the flat. Nobody there. Now a nice little touch pass to Megan Larson. And Larson kicks it out for about 15 yards.
Mitch, I don't like that defense at all. They only rushed one player. One player against 3 blockers. When you give a quarterback that kind of time, I don't care what kind of secondary defense it is, you're going to find somebody open. Not a great defense by Gary Clark.
The clock continues to run. We are inside a minute now. Clock becoming a huge enemy of Philadelphia. And that's a tough call with a completion over the middle. That's going to keep the clock running. Philadelphia choosing to call their only timeout. And here's another look at that Larson catch. Here we are, the final 30 seconds of football from Ontario. Bell back to pass. Looking for anybody. A little shovel pass goes to Roach. Roach has got an opening, cuts to the outside. Still on her feet, gets all the way down to the 4, Bobby.
Christy Bell with an unbelievable play at quarterback. Somehow she scrambled and got the ball to Roach. She almost scored. 14 seconds. They better hurry up.
They're going to try to kill the clock.
Mitch, she took a knee. She took a knee before she threw the ball down, I think.
If that is the case, let's take a look at it. Yeah, her knee is down. You can see right there her knee is down and the ball's still in her hand.
The game might be over right now. The clock should be running. She took a knee. The refs didn't see it. That would put Baltimore in the Legends Cup.
That is a huge turn of events, because if you take a knee, that could kill the play, but not the clock. And it would have been very tough for Philadelphia to get another playoff, but here they are. There's a handoff to Roach, trying to get to the outside, and nothing but pay dirt. She gets in the end zone with only 6 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. What a huge turn of events to go from that taking of the knee meltdown by the officials to now Mary Rose Roach tying up this game.
Incredible. You know they're going to give it to Roach again. This is the season right here. I would put all 7 players focused on the Roach, Mitch.
Here's the extra point attempt from the 1, and we've got penalty flags. It looked like Baltimore might have jumped that right side of their line. Now they're saying they were drawing offsides.
It looked like Lauren LaBella moved the ball. Who are they calling this one on?
There's a lot of question in the air. That is going to go against Philadelphia, and that takes them about a half-yard closer to pay dirt.
You know the Roach is getting the ball. You got to focus. You got to spy on the Roach right now. This is a season coming down to one play.
It is absolutely coming down to this play as we are notched up 19-19 in the Eastern Conference Championship with 6 seconds remaining, and there is the inside handoff to Roach. And Roach bulldozes her way into the end zone. What a massive extra point for Philadelphia.
Tashauna Gaines actually broke through the line. She had the Roach at the 4-yard line. She just couldn't bring her down. If she would have held on to her, wrapped her arms around her, she'd had the Roach for a loss to be a tie ball game, but she couldn't bring her down. Gary Clark is beside himself right there because of the ref's call first, and then Gaines missing a tackle.
Now Baltimore will probably have one opportunity here, and they're going to have a little razzle-dazzle with Morgan Spencer looking for a streaking Allie Dickey, and connects. Can Dickey get out of bounds? No, that's it. That is it. We have zeros across the clock, and Philadelphia is advancing to the Legends Cup. What an unbelievable turn of events here in the second half, as Philadelphia will return for a third time to the championship stage.
Somehow, some way, Philadelphia every year shows up in the conference championship game. Christy Bell was 9 out of